Let's do a real quick review here for a movie called Spare Parts that I watched yesterday because I hate myself. This is a film that I threw on, and it started with this kind of chick punk rock group, and all the girls were pretty attractive, and the song was actually pretty cool. And it was a reference to, the band name was like a reference to an older cool like cult film and all this stuff. And I was like, all right, like this is cool. Like I like this. I like the music, and things felt cheesy. And with the premise being that these four girls are abducted and they're put into some kind of like Thunderdome type situation where they have to fight each other after their limbs have been amputated and they've had their limbs replaced with these like stubs that can lock different weapons onto them, and they're forced to fight people to the death. This gladiator type, exploitation film maybe that they would have made in the 70s. I was like, all right, like I'm on board with this. These chicks are cute. The music's cool. The way this is shot, it looks like they're just gonna kind of have fun with it. They're doing the tough girl angle and all this stuff. This is pretty typical of the 1970s exploitation films. And the problem with this movie is that it takes itself way, 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 way too seriously. It tries to have so much drama, but not like, I don't know. None of it worked. I thought the way that this film was made was just fucking poor. Like, pretty much all across the board. And there were some familiar faces in here. I could not get on board with this movie, unfortunately. I feel like this movie was made for me. Like, this is the kind of shit I would like, kind of B movie type exploitation, throwback kind of stuff with hot chicks fighting to the death in a gladiator type arena. This sounds fun, but it's just the execution, man. It really comes down to it. I don't blame the cast all that much. But it's just kind of what they're given to work with here. Being so serious about everything just doesn't work for this film very much. Maybe that would have worked in the 70s when they were trying really hard and it was failing, and somehow that would have made it more appealing to us. Like, oh, I love shitty schlock type movies, and look at, they're trying to be serious. Isn't that funny? So, like, I'll give credit to them because I do feel like this is a pretty ambitious project. You get this junkyard that they're in and these, like, aerial sweeping shots of it and this and that. That's all impressive stuff. The whole time, man, I just couldn't give a fuck about anything. They tried to create this, like, love triangle and this jealousy, and it's like, is this really properly placed here? Like, this is such cattiness and such an odd part of the story. Like, these girls really going to be complaining about this stuff to each other and talking shit and having jealousy when they've just been kidnapped and their limbs have been amputated, and like it just feels so out of place. Their anger and stuff would lie in different places at that point. I just don't buy it. And the acting is whatever. It's B movie acting, and things feel so cheap. There's this like gladiator guy who's like instructing them how to fight, so they train them, and he comes out and he has like a white eye, and he's got this like armor on that looks like it's made from the rubber of tires, and it just, man, none of that stuff was working. I didn't find any of it to be appealing or amusing. I just found it to be a chore to sit through. So this one, I can't believe I even finished this thing because I wanted to shut it off. And I should have, to be honest. So, yeah, not for me at all. But hey, maybe that kind of film will work for you. And let me know if it does. Adios.